No, not punished in the window, as small as it was. Stax now with Shower's control. Mako
try,
has
but-
fallen, a 4v2 in favor of Navi this time. Stax on the reposition. Navi can take their time, man. They have so much control and they have so much time. That Flash not getting anything. This one will. You see it, Zest turn to the corner, and it's beautiful. It sets him up quite nicely.
And the pit!
Xiao's just on the tap. Reconsiders it. He's going to get it to halfway. He's going to get it all the way. Mikey's going to take it the whole way!
No way, that pit.
Another stolen defuse!
So today we're going to take a look at a great game that happened between Navi and DRX because we got our first Yoru. RB played Yoru on Bind. But for DRX, it did not start too well on the attack side. They are down 8-2 as we'll start with round number 11. And this is another example where you can see just their attack side. It looked like kind of weird for DRX, who are known for, you know, some of these executes and whatnot. And you'd think they'd have some really cool ideas, but it just didn't work. It just didn't look like they had the ideas. So let's take a look at our Yoru in this round, for instance, where you'll see it's just, honestly, this looks like a ranked round, right? Where we're coming towards B, you know, we can see that already, and our Yoru is ulting here, right? So we've popped the ult already, and we're coming in onto the site, and you'll see, here's our Yoru just here, and what's about to happen is he runs towards the back site. Obviously, he sees Xiao. The rest of his team is back here, still behind B long. There's a molly down here, so they can't go any further, right? So they're just having to stay back there, and what's going to happen is RB is just going to decide to come out of his Yoru ult, just on site on his own, and guess what? He is then going to lose that fight and just die. And then, whilst, you know, RB is getting out of this ult on his own up there, we then decide, oh, well, let's pop a Raze ult and go, whilst our Yoru is already dead up here on the site, and then our Raze is way ahead of everyone else as well. You know, let's not use those two ults in tandem or whatever, right? And maybe come back here, reveal where this player is, allows your Raze to, you know, just ult exactly where that player is. No, none of that. Let's just die here first, and then, of course, our Raze goes in and is way ahead of everyone else, and then dies as well. So we end up in a 3v5. Not a great situation. The score's 8-2, but this was a big turning point in the game where these players, I mean, they have no idea what's going on the other side of the map, so they pretty much just have to try and, you know, just come into B here, and they do, and this will happen every so often where Stax just decides, what if I just won a round?
3 HP on Xiao, able to slow things down even further. DRX not even in the front door, Doug.
No, and they invested so much. That dual-pronged attack that we were just talking about, nullified, blunted. And with that, DRX, because those tools are missing, have to creep their way out, and maybe that's the key. Zest has already gotten the opener onto Angel, no less.
Find anything else, though. Xiao tucks himself into Tube. Looks like he might be rewarded here, but Stax actually gets the better of him. Finds a second.
Crispy shots out from Stax. Are going to invest the pit too, desperately needing a round.
And a better pit this time around. It actually gives DRX some control over a choke point.
I dare said the previous time that Cena had, you know, maybe not the right weapon in a situation like this, and he made a fool of me. But I can't imagine he can do it again in a pit. In a pit? That's the pit! He's going to have to do it with the Phantom, and he cannot, as Stax plays hero for DRX and finally stops the bleeding.
But now let's come to round number 18, and for this one you'll see that DRX on the defense side did have a little more of an idea of what to do, like in this round here. So we'll start with just Buzz here, who's in towards Xiao's, and he's just jiggle peeking this angle, right? And he sees, okay, yeah, gets a little shoulder of Xiao just there. And we've also got this setup out here towards Long, and this is something that they were commonly doing, you know, a smoke down here, Yoru and Sky here, often sending flashes in here, trying to punish anyone. In this instance, they try it again just here. You see the flash, but it doesn't quite catch Zipan just there. And, you know, we basically just kind of trade that information that people are there. But Xiao manages to walk all the way up here, right? And so we've got Buzz and Xiao, you know, just looking right by each other. But now DRX come up with a really nice plan where they pop the pit down short at exactly this moment. They've got the Viper Wall coming across through the TP here out towards Shower. They send the dog through the Shower just here, and they're going to send Yoru RB as well to come behind and try and pinch on Xiao here in deep in Showers. And you'll see it goes pretty well. Although the dog misses, RB is still able to get that kill. And then you see he's got his gate crash all the way back here on B, so he's able to go from here back to the B site in safety very, very quick.
A couple of bodies on the other side of things. Trailblazer to pinch through here. Might even catch it. I don't think Xiao's stunned.
He's crunched, though. Yeah, RB's able to clean him up. They have pressure coming in from the other side via Buzz.
And so we end up in this 5v4, but here's where Navi, I think this kind of thing cost them, where there's still a minute left in the round. Yes, they are on an eco this round, so it's not like the end of the world that they lose this round. But you see, they come and take this Shower's control, and they actually get, you know, fairly deep into Shower, as you can see there. And Molly actually comes out here from Mako, you see just here, towards Shower. And now they just decide to, very late, you know, kind of 40 seconds left, just decide to run towards B. And you know, obviously the time is getting pretty low, right? Like by the time they hit this site, there's going to be like 15 seconds left. DRX actually read it and get the third player across as well. It's kind of interesting. They send this flash out long, you might have just seen. Doesn't catch anyone, so they go back because they think there's no way they're running all the way back here and aren't there yet, right? But actually they are. So when these smokes start to come in here for Navi, you know, now it's just like a last second, like hope to hit the site. And I think some of that, you know, just indecision sometimes, and we'll see it in later rounds as well, can sometimes be what costs them.
Now in hookah, that's going to be the green light here.
Oh, he's got to be careful. That flash up high is so good, though, as RB's able to get the first CNET on the trade, though. Mako filling the space behind and stacks that 1-2 punch is just too much.
But now let's come to overtime. At the start of the video, you saw the first overtime round where DRX kind of got a bit unlucky with that Viper Spit, but they were able to get it to 13-13 and then play this round on the attack side, which was probably the best attacking Yoru round that they had, right? As we said in the first round that we looked at, you know, their attack side looked a little sketchy at best, you know, that it wasn't really finding much value. But this is a round where they did actually find value. We get a bit of sparring towards Showers before DRX decide to come back towards B, and they are going to do a B hit in this round. But they're going to run into CNET here, who, you know, with the time ticking down here to getting close to a minute, and this is what you should be doing as Sage. You want to, you know, put this wall up basically as late as you can, right? So that it can last as long in the round as you can, but CNET starts to walk away from it, but then it instantly starts getting destroyed, so he has to come back. And now, you know, he's starting to use his utility to slow them down again. And DRX, if we take a look at the map at this point, right, they are very committed to B. The dog comes out, doesn't see anyone on A. That actually brings Shao back across just here. They try and go for this little Molly and nade combo, but it doesn't quite hit. And so CNET is able to live. A smoke comes into Hooker as well here, right? And so it looks like at this point, DRX are a little lost. Now, the thing is, a flash just came out towards long, didn't see anything. So Shao then starts to go back towards A, perhaps thinking the smoke has, you know, made them think twice about this. But that flash not seeing anything actually gives them the go signal that we are going to go B. CNET's going to get caught behind this wall and die here. It's kind of a bit of a messy fight. But then you're going to see this Yoru come into fruition. We're going to get the Yoru clone running up this way. Kind of perfectly timed, to be honest, as it looks like the rest of the team's coming in this way. So Angel is going to shoot it. We're then going to get a flash here on the back side that's then going to... So Angel gets blinded once by the clone, then a second time by the flash of the back side. Then this TP is going to land back side, and he's going to manage to get the kill. We end up in a 5v3, and DRX are able to convert.
I'll avoid confirmation here.
But CNET's a trap. As soon as the wall goes down, his life goes too. Mako able to clean him up. Angel flash. He can't see a damn thing.
Flash
dancing around back sight. Unreal. DRX have cracked the site wide open. Now Navi have shown up with reinforcements, but it's too little too late. They still aren't their way out on site. As the crowd comes to life once more, DRX looking to take the lead against Navi in overtime. But they're far from done. Still some pesky members of the defense up. Zip and Shao and Sugetsu putting it what seems like an unwinnable situation, but the demand is there. The ask could not be greater. And it seems like they're crumbling in the face of it. That's exactly what they do. DRX take the lead back.
And then we'll come to the last round as well here, where we'll see just kind of a tricky situation play out for Navi. But again, you feel like a Navi playing at their absolute peak form, you know, might be able to get out of this situation, but it's one that they will actually lose a 5v3 here. They start off with a default towards B, and overall the actual round plan here from Navi maybe isn't too bad. It's a bit risky, but you'll see what I mean. So we get the dog coming out, and they start off with this default towards B, and, you know, their dog comes out in towards Hooker here, clears out that, right? They start to take some long control here as well. So, you know, they've managed to take kind of both sides of B here, which is good, but then they start to group up and come back towards A, right? So they've got long control, they got Hooker control, and now they start to walk back. Now, the risky part of this is that these two are going to take the teleporter, as you can see just there. Now, Angel's got this ult orb, and he's actually going to get his ult by taking 1, 2 ult orbs and planting as well to get his ult later on in the round. This is a bit of a risk, though, because Showers is the one part of the map where they don't actually know what's going on. But you'll see they start to group up towards short, and they're going to go for this exec. 2 players out towards Showers, and these 3 out towards short just here. So it's about to start in just a second, and in they will go. And you'll see that they managed to find this first kill here on Buzz as well, with Zipan entering the site.
And they're going to satchel out. They're going to flash. Buzz falls. What can RB do?
Okay, so they get the first kill, and that means that they can now take the shower control as well. And what they've done is they've actually smoked for deep sight, right? Like as if we want to take the whole site. And that puts RB in a bit of a bind, to excuse the pun. It puts RB in a bit of a bad situation where, he has to worry about this. But because they've smoked deep sight here, that means that they could, threaten to take the whole site as well and basically pinch in on him. And you'll see some of that indecision now where, he doesn't really know which way to go. And in fact, when he actually looks out the other way here, he does just catch a brief glimpse of Zipan, and so he doesn't know which fight to take and probably feels like he's surrounded and ends up dying as well.
Can't imagine much in the face of all of that Viper utility and even more piled on, but he's I thought he was going to swing in front through the molly, but he doesn't. Swings back around.
But now we end up in the tricky situation. And again, if, Navi were playing maybe at that absolute peak, this is one of those situations where everyone perhaps realizes, okay, we're in a 5v3 and just all play safe. Or everyone realizes, kind of what the plan is and we're sticking to it, where, we are going to fight back sight. But what ends up happening here instead is basically whilst this spike is going down, Stax is coming out of the smoke. And only Zipan is really looking towards the back side, right? They've just got this kill. Sugetsu's a bit too far away. Shao's looking behind. CNED is kind of waiting to swing here out of the smoke towards heaven. Angel's still planting the spike. So it just leaves Zipan here alone. And so when Zipan loses this fight, what that means is that CNED peeks out of the smoke with his op, but runs basically right into Stax's crosshair where, he's looking the same way, and so Stax get a second kill again as well. Then we end up in a 3v3 with the spike down, and now Navi want to try and retreat back, but as they're retreating back, this smoke fades and Mako's able to get a kill on Shao as he's retreating. We end up in a 3v2, and Sugetsu ends up looking the wrong way as Stax comes through lamps as well, and then Angel will lose the 3v1. And so this round is a great example of how things can cascade in Valorant very quickly, right? Zipan loses a fight, so CNED tries to swing, but then he loses the fight. That means we're in a 3v3, but we've got Molly and ult, so retreat. But then Shao dies retreating, all of a sudden we're in 3v2, and it's like, where do we look? We don't know, and so we end up losing the round. And it just goes to show that if you're just not quite on that same page, even for small, tiny things, you can end up losing situations like this.
Him up. You see the defenses for DRX scrambling, but Stax with 2. Trying to right the ship, trying to bring him back. Trying to put him down as Mako gets another.
Angel's got the molly and the ult here, though. DRX still have to move fast.
And they have no duelists to go with it. They have no duelists to take the fight to Navi's doorstep. It's all on to Angel. Off of this you go. Seekers, the flash. There's Orbital Strike. Zets cleans him up, and DRX somehow claw their way back into the map and take a 1-0 lead.